Hello, bridge builders! I'm here with some exciting news. The first volume of interviews is now available on Amazon.com. The link can be found at eatlunchandboardgame.com. I promise that all proceeds from sales of this book will go right back into this podcast and channel. Whether that is new and better audio equipment for the podcast, or video equipment for the YouTube channel, or even more games to review, the money will not be wasted. Click over to Amazon and get your copy of Eat Lunch and Board Game, the first course today. And thank you for supporting the show. This episode is sponsored by Fortuna Games, STL. Owners Will and Ashley have a quaint shop here in St. Louis City. They have lots of Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards on hand, as well as board games and accessories, like card sleeves that I am always ranting about. Use coupon code ELABG10 for 10% off your purchase. If you don't see what you're looking for on their website, fortunagames.net, just email them and see if they can get it for you at fortunagames@gmail.com. Fortuna Games, for all your lunchtime board gaming needs. A few months back, like 6 or more, I sponsored a design competition on past guest JT Smith's thegamecrafter.com website. The competition was to design a lunchtime game, because that's what this podcast is all about. So the game had to be playable within a lunch hour and appropriate for work. There were 77 entries. Of those, 7 were selected to be finalists. Those 7 were then shipped to me to playtest. I took all of these to work to play with my coworkers. I mean, that was literally the purpose of the competition. So, with the help of 2 or 3 of my coworkers each day, we played through all 7 games. Some were instant successes requiring another play, hopefully with a different player count. Some, well, they were not so lucky. As a group, we narrowed down the finalists to the top 3 games. In the end, we made the decision to award Locked Out by Little Rhombus Games as the winner. In this episode, I'm joined by René Uittenbogaard, the designer of Locked Out. We talk about the usual questions, but also about his amazing game that won the competition. René also had a lot of great game suggestions. To hear all of this, all you have to do is stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to Lunch and Board Game. I'm your host, Adam Collins, and joining me today is René Uittenbogaard, all the way from the Netherlands. He is the game designer for Little Rhombus Games, which won the Game Crafters Design Competition Design a Lunchtime Game, a design competition that I sponsored, and his game, Locked Out, was the winner of the competition. René, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
I'm so glad we finally got a chance to talk and that I remembered, and working with the 7-hour time difference is always an adventure.
Yeah, I think so.
So what is the weather like over there right now in the Netherlands?
It has been sunny. Today was a little bit chilly for a springtime day, but it will be warm soon, I guess.
It's just hot and humid here in St. Louis, Missouri. So as I said, you were a game designer for Little Rhombus Games, and your game Locked Out was one of the entries in the competition. And I think what really drew me to that game, and my coworkers, we played it a couple different times and we kept coming back to it. What was so amazing and fun about it is that it's a cooperative game, but yet not cooperative, because no matter which way you go, only one person is going to win the game, but you have to work together and you're trying to achieve your goal, but everybody else is trying to achieve their goal, which could be the same goal, and you just don't know that they've got a better score than you. So it's very interesting. How did you come up with this idea?
Actually, it was during a sleepless night. I was going to bring somebody to take somebody to the airport the next morning, so I had to get up really early. And I just couldn't fall asleep. And I started thinking about a game, and I had the idea that in order to progress the common goal, you had to spend your points, which then puts you at a disadvantage. But at the same time, if you keep them for yourself, you obstruct the common goal. And then I thought that was a neat idea. So that, yeah, it was just a flash of inspiration, I guess.
You never know when an inspiration's going to hit you.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's what's so great about it, like I said, is that the theme is that you and your team have basically robbed a bank, an intergalactic banker, and you're trying to escape on this ship. And
Hmm.
this ship has locked you out, hence the name locked out, of its control room. And there's two ends to the game. Either you escape by getting back into the control room
Yes.
and taking control of the ship. And if that happens, then the person with the highest value of booty from the robbery, they win.
Exactly.
But if you run out of resources and the ship stalls you out and you get caught by the authorities who are in pursuit of you, then the person with the fewest points from the booty is the winner. And you can steal each other's cards and force them to play cards through the game. And I think that's what's so fun about it is your strategy can shift right like that, because all of a sudden you went from having the big chunk of the booty all the way to nothing. So now you're trying to run it out, but you don't know what anybody else has. It's the interaction and the mind games, so fun, and it plays so fast, really. 30 to 40 minutes probably.
Yeah.
I think so. We were definitely wrapping it up in under an hour. It was so fun. So I can't wait to work with you. We are gonna, as Bearded Board Games, we are gonna publish the game. We're working on trying to get some pricing and stuff together. So keep an eye out for that. It will be coming out hopefully later this year, but maybe early 2024, depending on how the schedule works out. So, have you entered other games into other competitions?
No, not really. This was the first time that I actually sent in. This idea was good enough as far as I was concerned, and the other games that I developed were either just not developed enough or not good enough.
Sure. No, I understand that. We have a couple games that we're also working on that just need a couple more play tests, a couple more iterations, and I think we'll be where we need to be. But right now, like you said, they're just not good enough. They're not
Mhm.
there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So how did you get into gaming?
When I was a student, we had a group of students that played games together. We also played Dungeons and Dragons, but also Risk and several other Shogun, Civilization, the board game. There was a board game, I believe, which was called. I'm not sure if it was called Magic, but it was a board game. Yeah, so we were all quite enthusiastic about that, and we had a group with which we played Risk for a long time, also after we were students. And then in our city, there are quite a few German people in our circles, and they bring along a lot of games from Germany, which are really good. They really
Oh
know how
yeah.
to make games.
Oh yeah. They're great. That's awesome. So if I made it over to the Netherlands, which doesn't seem likely anytime soon, but if I did, what game are you currently playing? What's your favorite current game?
um, my my guilty confession is locked out, of course, at
Yeah.
the moment. But before that, I was playing Salem 1692, which I
Wow.
really enjoyed.
It's kind of a heavy game.
A heavy game, you think?
I haven't played it personally. I think it just kind of always falls on that line of can't quite get it in the timeline that I'm looking at playing.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, it can take a bit of time. That's true.
Sometimes the best games do, though.
But when
Uh,
compared to, for example, werewolves, I mean, in werewolves, if you have bad luck, then the first round you're already out, and you don't have much to go by. So.
Oh, when I just looked it up, Salem 1692 is not the game I was thinking of. No, that one's only a 35-minute game, so maybe I should definitely look into that one.
Okay, it's the one that has a box shaped like a book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking of a whole different game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one, yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm always game for a 30-minute game. So being so this is always my favorite question to ask, but how do you pronounce Klaus Teuber's game, The Settlers of?
I pronounce it the Dutch way. Catan.
See, but it still sounds right. Catan is better than Catan.
Mhm.
So even in Dutch, it sounds correct to me. So what is your day job? What do you do for a living?
I'm a programmer. I program websites for our customers. Uh, for example, a system for right now I'm working on a system with which the general practitioners can do the bookkeeping for their employees.
Do you go to the office or do you work from home?
Usually, I work from the office, as I like to work among colleagues.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, the working from home was not really for me. I like interaction a lot. So,
Mhm,
do
mhm.
you play games with your coworkers at lunch? Did they
Um,
help play test Locked Out?
they have split as locked out. Yes, it was only since February that I have this job, and so I was immediately you get to you get to know each other, and they discovered that I like making board games, so they immediately said you should bring it so that we can play it.
There
And they
you
were very
go.
enthusiastic. And the funny thing is that then after you've played a game during lunchtime, and all your colleagues are still talking about it when you're packing up, and they're still like, oh, I knew you had that card, etc. And then you know that it really grabs hold of them, that it
That's great. That's great.
makes them
Yeah. Well,
enthusiastic.
yeah, coworkers are great play testers. Well, like I use my coworkers to play all the finalists for the competition. We played
Ah,
all 7 games. Same group. We had 3 or 4. I think one time we had 5, but usually there was 3 or 4 of us played every one of them a few times each on some of them. Some of the other ones not so much, but it was good. We had a great time playing the games, and it's interesting because people obviously play games with a different mindset, like how they approach the game, and so it's always fun. And that's what's so much fun about playtesting with coworkers is you get those different angles of
mhm.
playtesting. Like this guy's gonna max minute, this person's gonna be a little nicer and helpful, and this person's gonna, just play chaotically, and so you get a lot of fun that way.
Yeah.
So it's good you've got a new group of coworkers that you can play test your next game design with. So that's
Yeah.
exciting. So if what games do you play with your coworkers? If you have an hour long lunch, what is your go-to 60-minute game?
Um, well, with my coworkers, I've only played Locked Out. But my favorite 60-minute game, I wrote down Takenoko.
Oh yes, the panda game.
The panda game, exactly. That's what we call it as well.
I call it the panda eating bamboo game.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, that one's a lot of fun. You got the little farmer out there he's out there trying to grow the bamboo, and you got the panda moving around trying to eat the bamboo, and you're trying to lay out the tiles and collect the certain colored bamboo. I like that game. There's a lot
Yeah.
of ways to score points. It's a very entertaining game.
And it's a happy game. I mean, with the whole theme. So,
No, you're right. It is lighthearted, very, very lighthearted. What about a 30-minute game, a lunch half hour?
um, I'm not sure if it fits in 30 minutes, but what I wrote down is Kill Dr. Lucky.
Oh, yes. By cheap ass games.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Oh, that game's so much fun.
Oh, and they
Um,
did add so much flavor text to it in the latest editions.
yeah. Rat poison. I love rat poison. Oh man. Yeah, I actually built my own board for that out of foam core, so it's 3-dimensional. So you go up the stairs onto the second level,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, it's it. I Kill Dr. Lucky, so fun. I've seen all the different boards. If you go to its Board Game Geek page, people put up different layouts for the different rooms and stuff. And yeah, oh, Kill Dr. Lucky, so much fun. James Ernest, he said he created that game because Clue, the murders already happened. So
Yeah.
this is his prequel to Clue.
Yeah.
You're trying to kill Dr. Lucky, and then the people from Clue come in to try to solve who killed it. So that's hilarious. What about a hidden gem game, a game you love that you don't think enough people know about?
It's also by Cheap Ass Games. It's the game Unexploded Cow.
No, that one I have not played yet.
Okay, so there are. It's the 90s. There are mad cows in England, and there are unexploded bombs in France. And now, what we are going to do as players is we're going to buy cows and send them through the minefields. And if they let mines explode, then you earn money, with which you can buy new cows.
That sounds like a cheap ass game. Oh my gosh. James Ernest is quite a character. I just got his game. I haven't read the rules and put it all together yet. Called Biting Heads Off, where you're dinosaurs.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I haven't got around it. I've got it all printed off. I just finished printing my 3D dinosaurs to use for tokens.
Nice.
So yeah. Oh man, James Ernest, what a character. You ever play his game Button Men?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that one's just like a deck of cards, and then talking about flavor text, every one of the cards says, the name of the character, and gives like a short bio for him, and then at the end it's like, and they like to beat people up. And so that's what it is. It's like basically you and me in an alley punching each other until so you get a certain amount of polyhedral dice based on your character, and then you roll and attack each other and take each other's dice. Whoever runs out of dice loses the round.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hilarious. I bought like the latest edition, which was a deck box. It's just so many different versions of the game, and it's a riot. My son and I will sit down and play a game of Button Men just before bed or something, because it plays so fast and it's so funny. But man, yeah, good old cheap ass games, man. He has some great games. I want to look into the Unexploded Cow. That one will definitely have to make my game shelf, I think.
There was another one that popped up in my mind. That was Mertwig's Maze, but I don't think it's for sale anymore. It was really cheap when I found it years and years ago. Back then it was 8 Dutch guilders. And it has it's in the Dungeons and Dragons theme. You have to walk through the wilderness and fight monsters and find at least a royal treasure and a royal birthmark, which is also a treasure you can find, because that way you can show that you are the legal heir to the throne. Because at the moment, King Mertwig is sick and lies dying. So if he dies first, then the Grand Vizier takes over and the richest player wins. But if you can prove beforehand that you're the
rightful heir,
successor, then yeah, you will become the new king.
That sounds awesome.
Brilliant cards, like for example, one of the encounters is an elephant named Wolf. So the card says Wolf, an elephant. And there's a card that says the dreaded slob, and then a little bit further in the deck there's a card which is called the deaded slob when you return from the dead.
It reminds me of this game I've got, and it's the cat. It's a card that says cat meow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Now I'll have to look and see if I can find that one. Oh man, Miratrix Maze. Interesting. So, do you use Kickstarter? Have you ever been on there as a creator or a backer? Or
I used it once to back a game.
Just once?
Yes.
I
I'm
use
not
it once a week.
I'm not that active in the gaming circuit, I guess, but
Uh,
it was one of the other contests on the Game Crafter, which was the Mint Tin
mhm.
contest, where there was one game called Mintsugi, which is a variation on the Japanese art of kintsugi, where you have pottery, and when it breaks, you can mend it with gold, and then it
I
becomes
rem
more valuable.
I remember that one now. Yeah,
I
I
thought it
didn't
was a
back that one, but I do remember it.
brilliant
What
idea, and now it has been published by a company. I contacted the author, and he said that it had been published officially. So I bought it through Kickstarter. Yeah. It has a different name now. It's called Broken and Beautiful.
okay, I didn't know it changed names. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to look into that one. As soon as you said it, yeah, the breaking, yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That's awesome. So, but Kickstarter only once. That's crazy. I've backed a few dozen
Okay.
over 100 uh campaigns. I love it. So we're going to. I know you're working on some new artwork for Locked Out,
Hmm.
and we're going to take it to Kickstarter. We'll have a couple different options. I think we're going to start out. It is a Mint 10 game right now, but we're going to look at probably just doing a tuck box and then as a stretch goal doing into a Mint 10.
Okay.
Um, so funny story I'm going to tell you about when we got locked out. They forgot the deck of cards.
What? Really?
Yeah, and so I
How's
had to
that possible?
contact the game crafter, and I was like, um, I'm missing the deck of cards for locked out. Okay, and then I had it in a couple of days.
That's weird that they lose such an important
Yeah,
part of the game.
it was the only thing missing 7 games,
Hmm.
and we had every part and piece except the deck of cards to locked out. But I got it in a couple days, which is fine. We had 7 of them to play, so we played a couple of the other ones
Yeah.
first.
Hmm.
But yeah, we the game was just fun. I mean, just the pure nature of it, where you don't know what everybody else is trying to do. You're also you're also guessing that, or you're assuming and you're hoping that you have the most booty or the least amount of booty, and you're trying to, and then somebody takes your card, then all of a sudden you may have to completely change your strategy, and you're trying to balance the resources and match things and to unlock it. Oh man, we just kept coming back to that game as like this, this is the spirit of a lunchtime board game that we were looking for. You know,
Hmm.
something that's interactive, something that's quick, something that's fun, something that has replayability in it. Because every time you play, you're gonna, you have to play the cards you've got that at that exact moment.
Hmm.
You may have like the most valuable card or not, and you got to dig into the deck and go search the rooms and go through the doorways. And oh man, it was just so much fun. And like I said, I think it really just fit the spirit of what I was looking for. And I was very impressed with it, and I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to um produce it, get it out there, publish it, and get it out to the world, because man, it is a lot of fun to
Wow.
play.
I mean,
Oh man.
I must say that I was really surprised that I was the winner, because in our city we have a group of game designers who play together once in a month or twice a month to evaluate each other's games. So I played Locked Out with them a couple of times, and they were saying, yeah, it has a lot of potential, but something is still missing. Yeah, something is still missing. Something is still missing. So I tried to tweak it a little bit and tweak it a little bit more and tweak it a little bit more. But
No, I like we've already kind of conversed. I think the biggest drawback to the game is it just takes a little time to set up, because you got to set up each individual deck for each room and certain amount of cards and everything, and that. that's like the only detriment to the game is you have a little bit of setup, and that's it. I mean, for a complaint, that's nothing.
Yes, I did change that too, by the way, because a change that I made is that one of the blue rooms is now an orange room. So that means that it will probably give the players a little bit more faith in being able to complete the mission, because they can complete the blue zone earlier in the game. The eventual goal will be equally difficult.
You still gotta not run out of oxygen.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gotta watch it.
But
Was it oxygen, energy, and food?
fuel and power, yes, oxygen,
Fuel and
fuel, and power.
yeah, and you gotta watch
And,
out. Don't want those
and the
cubes to
setup,
restand.
because the two zones are now the orange and the blue zone are now equally sized. It means that the setup is also slightly easier.
Nice. No, I can't wait to work on it with you and uh, get the balance a little bit better. And your new artwork you've sent me is great. We tried not to hold a whole lot of. We tried not to make artwork worth too much in the game because some people we wanted the game. We were looking more at the game mechanic. How does it play? Does it have the interaction between players? Does it have replayability? That kind of thing. So the artwork, didn't bother us. And then you're like, oh, work on some new artwork, and you sent me the new artwork, and I'm like, wow, this is great. This is some good artwork here. But yeah, we try not to judge it on the artwork unless the game was all about the artwork. One of the games that we looked at, was really kind of all about the artwork and the graphic design and everything. So, but it was fun. We're gonna I can't wait to share this game with everybody and get it out there for everybody to play. Can't wait to host another game design competition. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I still got to get all the awards and rewards out to everybody, all the finalists and stuff. But my goodness, what a great game. Blocked out, so much fun. Oh man. Get any other games you're working on?
Yes, I'm working on a fantasy game where you have to walk through the land and defeat monsters and collect their treasures, sell them. And I've hired a designer and an artist who are now currently working on making it a nice game.
I,
It's looking
I,
really
I
good.
understand that.
It's looking really good already, and I'm hoping that I can I can have a brilliant, good-looking game. But this is a big game. I mean, it takes at least 2 hours to play, 2.5 hours, and yeah.
I wouldn't put that into a lunchtime competition.
No, exactly. No.
No, it's more. So when you do play, I don't want to forget this question. It's my other favorite questions. When you do play a game with colors, what color do you like to play as?
I always like to play with green.
I thought of you as a blue man,
Oh,
but green,
well,
but green. Okay, I'm definitely a red,
okay.
unless there's
Now,
an orange. Sometimes I like to play as orange,
in our
but
in our group of game makers, the Game Makers Guild that we have here, there's one other guy who also always plays with green. He said, "No, no, 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 no. I will play with green. You can pick
what
any other
you have
color."
to do is have light green and dark green.
Yes, that would be a good idea. But if you
I
don't
got
watch out and other people are moving your pawn,
yeah. I when I can't play as red or orange, I get confused. I look at the game board and forget who I am. Like,
yeah.
but that is awesome. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to talk with you more, and we'll keep everybody up to date as to what's going on with the game and have you back on the show when we launch and get it out there to everybody. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an
Mm.
adventure getting the game finalized and into production,
Mm.
but we will definitely get it done. Little Rhombus Games. How can people reach out to you, Renee?
Um, there is a contact option on the Game Crafters site. So through the website, the Game Crafter. I think if people are not familiar with the website, then it's easiest to go through the contest. So find the contest page and then find the game locked out.
I will post a link
That might be
to the
easy.
contest in the show notes. I'm writing that down right now, so I will have a harder time of forgetting. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'll put a link to the contest in the show notes. You get that way. You guys can also look at all the other games that were finalists. The 7 finalists that we had some good ones, but Locked Out was the best. So,
Wow.
but René, I really want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank you for creating the game that won the competition, and I can't wait to work with you further and get a contract together and bring Locked Out from Little Rhombus Games through Bearded Board Games to the market.
Yes, thank you for hosting, for sponsoring this contest, and for pronouncing me the winner. Brilliant.
Oh man,
Really,
like I
really
said,
exciting.
it was great. Don't enter any more competitions. Just go one and done, 100% wins. You can say I was never beaten in a competition. You don't have to tell them that it was only one.
Yeah.
And as usual, you guys can reach out to me at facebook.com/eatlunchandboardgame, eatlunchandboardgame.com, or email me at eatlunchandboardgame@gmail.com. And remember, board games build bridges. When you're gaming, why not be comfy? Go over to supportplayer.org. Click on the cards, pieces, and dice to get some merch. These t-shirts are some of the most comfortable I have ever worn. That's supportplayer.org, and there's a link on eatlunchandboardgame.com.